We need some police reform. Oh my goodness. So someone brought this story to my attention, and it was involving a tragedy that took place not too long ago. You had this 17-year-old kid who's autistic, who's mentally challenged, and he was going through an episode. And he happened to have a knife. He got a hold of a kitchen knife, and his family was trying to get the knife out of his hands. Now, unbeknownst to them, there was a nosy neighbor. It always starts with the nosy neighbor. I don't know why, but it's always the person that thinks that they're doing good, right? That they're being the good Samaritan, that causes, situations like these to just go haywire. They escalate and they get out of control. The neighbor calls the police, all right? Now, the problem is how the neighbor describes the situation. She tells dispatch that there is an intoxicated man wielding a knife, chasing people around, the front yard. That's how she described it to dispatch. And you know what dispatch is going to obviously say to the police, because that's the information they're going to go off of. And sure enough, once the police get there, 12 seconds after getting out of their patrol car, they unload on this kid. And the kid, the reason why is that the kid was stumbling towards him. Now, mind you, there is a barrier. There is a chain link fence, all right, that is separating him from the officers. Now, what they're trying to argue is that the officers, the bullcrap narrative of they only have a split second to react. And that's how much of the things when it comes to law enforcement, that's how it comes to be. There's like one little sample point, and then thanks to the Supreme Court, thanks to certain cases, they blow it up to where the officers now are untouchable. Okay, they can do no wrong. You have a better chance at convicting Jesus and nailing Jesus to a cross than convicting an officer. Damn. That's what we're talking about. Because if you put yourself in harm's way, which is exactly what they did, there's a chain link fence. There is no de-escalating. None. 12 seconds. All right. He got the Tamir Rice treatment. That's what he got. 12 seconds. No de-escalating. There is no imminent threat to your life. All right, none. They go there, guns drawn, and fire upon this kid. The kid goes to the hospital after several surgeries. They even amputate his leg, and unfortunately, after all of this, he succumbs to his injuries. Officers get paid leave. They're in an investigation. We're going to find out whether or not they're going to be charged, which is unlikely. That's the issue. It's unlikely due to what the laws we have right now, which is why we've got to get rid of qualified immunity. This is something that was brought up when it came to the George Floyd Policing Act. This is reform that is much needed. The argument against it is literally, well, officers will leave. Good. That's what's supposed to happen. If you can't abuse your authority and it requires you to leave, then good. That's what's supposed to happen. Because there are plenty of officers, they don't exploit the law. They use it when needed. The problem is that this law protects and shields the good and the bad. And that is unacceptable, okay? If this inhibits you from doing your job, then find another job, by all means. Because guess what? There'll be someone else to replace you. That won't need, as far as to gun down a 17-year-old autistic kid without asking as far as the situation, going off of what dispatch told you. And you should know this better as an officer, because half the time, what someone is calling in for is 90% not what's transpiring. It's 90% not what's going on. And sure enough, you had the chief talking about, well, we have to understand they had split second, and you know what, they had to do what they had to do, and yada, yada.
In situations like this, officers must make decisions in seconds. They assess threats, not just to themselves, but to those nearby. In this case, two individuals were within a few feet of an armed, non-compliant individual. The risk was immediate, and the situation rapidly evolving.
And right now you have, a family member who's lost their autistic kid. That's what you have. The aunt was on TV talking about, hey, we were trying to hold them. And, some of these officers aren't familiar with autistic kids. They didn't even get a chance to tell the officers, this kid is autistic. They didn't get a chance to give any context to what's going on.
So we were trying to find a way to take the night out of his end. Be careful with the kids that have, people who have autism. Probably not all officers know how to deal with somebody with a mental crisis.
These officers just got out of the police car, gun-ho, ready to take a life. It had nothing to do with protecting life. It had to do with taking a life. And that's unfortunately the mindset that we have with law enforcement right now. They're so inclined and so ready to take a life as opposed to doing everything in their power to not take a life. That's unfortunately how they've been trained. And that's unfortunately how, society wants them to act. Because how many of, the races in this country, unfortunately, how they view it is that crime is a black problem. That's how they view it. Crime is a black problem. So if you want to go gung-ho and go 100%, off the rails, by all means. If you want to do excessive force, what really is excessive force? The black person's guilty, obviously, because they have managed to just malign our image by associating us with crime. They have married us to criminality, despite the facts of the matter, despite what's going on, the history of this country, everything, despite all better judgment. That's what they have managed to do. So when they have an officer who's accused of excessive force, that's fine. It's only a problem when it comes to them, right? When we have an Ashley Babbitt. No, Negro, even though you're an officer, you're probably a DEI because you just did a no-no, and that was kill a white woman. That should never happen. And that's the problem that we have right now. This is something I've said before. The only time white lives matter to these white ignorants, is if it's taken at the hands of a black person. And we see this time and time and time again.
Damn.
And it's sad because in the meantime, between time, all of us have to suffer. All of us have to suffer. And they're being hustled. You have countless cases that I've covered. Many of these other Republican, this woke right that we're dealing with online, they don't cover those cases. I've covered Jared Lackey. I've covered Hunter Britton. I've covered Ryan Whitaker. I've covered these cases because these are the same cases of police brutality, of excessive force, where now the most extreme excessive force is that your life has been taken. And these people's lives were wrongfully taken and nobody cares. Nobody. White people of the Republican right who always want to say back the blue, they don't care. The people they listen to don't care because the only thing they work for is to race bait. That's all they do. That's all the Republican right does is race bait and galvanize and radicalize their audience because why? It makes it easier for them to extract income from them. It makes it easier. If poor Bubba living in a trailer park believes that his life is in danger due to Deshaun from Chicago or something, or due to redlining, you don't want the blacks living in your neighborhood, they're going to be violent, then of course he's going to give to your campaign. Then of course he's going to give, to your fundraiser event. That's of course what they're going to do. And this is something I've said when it came to Lyndon B. Johnson. They're using the same scare tactics to extract money from you. And in the meantime, between time, you got some idiot like Doge who is firing you, about to eliminate your Social Security, is about to eliminate the social programs, and these are the programs that many of these people survive off of. So you're chopping off your nose to spite your face. And for what? Because you listened to Charlie Kirk, who told you black people are bad? You're not going to get on the airplane because Charlie Kirk told you black pilots are DEI? What are we talking about? This is real life consequences, and that's why I speak so passionately against these people, because they are creating a worse America, not just for black people, but for everyone. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think, whether or not you believe Lucas, the officers did what they had to do, okay? You don't approach an officer with a knife and not expect to get shot. I hear you, but at the same time, how about you don't put yourself in such a situation where you have pretext to take a life? All right? They absolutely could have asked what was going on. What's the situation here? There was no reason to come out with guns blazing before you could confirm anything that was told to you. Nevertheless, that's a video. If you happen to disagree, you know where to find me. Friday the Sunday Disagreement Day. Call in, we duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think, and subscribe. And that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. They escalate and they get out of control.